Hi, this is JJ Smith Medium, and thanks for joining me on this week's version of Weekly Wow of Spirit Stories. This week I had quite an interesting call with a woman who actually won a contest on the website. So if you've not gone over to the website, you want to make sure to do that because we occasionally do drawings for free readings. And this woman named Paula was the woman that had won. And we did our reading by phone because she lives quite a ways away. And I knew nothing about her before I called and didn't have any information on her. And so when we did our reading by phone, before I even got on the phone with her, at first I was thinking about her mom, which is who was coming through initially. And then all of a sudden, right before I called, I was like, wow, she lost a son. And that's always a little tricky to bring that up because you don't want to be wrong about that. It can upset people. And so once we got on the phone, we start the process. And I said to her, have you by chance lost a son? And she said, yes. And I said, and it was sudden or tragic? And she said, yes. And I kept listening to the spirit and he kept apologizing, which in my experience means that they may have passed or crossed themselves over. And so I had asked her about it and she said, no, I don't think so. And as we continued, what I realized is he had actually passed away from a drug overdose that was not intentional, but he was just coming out of long-term rehab. And as we talked about it, and of course she's very emotional and very upset, I was telling her what he was showing me. And I said, he keeps talking to me about something like graffiti, like he's showing me like him painting a big wall. And she got kind of, nervous for a minute. And she said, did you research me before you called? And I said, no, she had a really common name, like if her name was Sally Smith. And I said, no, I didn't. And she said, my son was actually a fairly famous graffiti artist. And that's like the one thing everybody knew about him. And so that was nice validation on the spirit's part that he was showing me that. And then the other cool thing is he kept showing me like what you'd put on the back of a car that has the dates, right? Like his name and memorandum with like a heart and the dates. And I asked her if she had something like that on her car. And she said that her nephew had just put that on her car yesterday. So some really great validation came through. And I know she was, like any parent would be, right? Was very, it has so much grief from this loss. It was sudden, it was unexpected. She had some very specific questions like how did he end up where he was and what happened? And luckily he was kind enough to be able to share the information with me where I could help her have some closure on what had actually transpired that night of when it happened. And He kept apologizing, it was one of the things that I see that's common in spirits where either they've crossed themselves over or they've done something that they didn't realize how final it would be. And I think it brought some really wonderful healing and closure for her. And she was so excited at the end and was telling me like truly I was praying every day that I was going to win this reading because I'm kind of financially strapped and it's such a big deal. It was so unexpected that I just can't heal from it. It was 2 years ago and I just can't heal from it. And so by the end of that session, it was really a whole different scenario for her that she did have that closure she needed and she was able to talk with her son and have those visiting hours in heaven, which is what I like to call it. And, it was a really beautiful thing. And if you have not signed up on the website, if you're thinking like, I really need a reading, but I don't know if it's for me or I'm scared of it or however you might be feeling, it's worth signing up on jjsmithmedium.com because I'm a big believer that whoever is supposed to get the message and whoever is supposed to be chosen for that weekly free reading, that's how it works. Like the people just kind of get put into my hand when I'm drawing from the pot. So that's this week's story of the Weekly Wow on Spirit Stories. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Bye.